Jacksonville Jaguars fans, welcome in to Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thanks so much for being here Tuesday, July 8th. Earlier, we talked about ESPN Bill Barnwell's list of the top offensive weapon groups in the league. Jaguars came in middle of the road. Y'all can go check that video out. But right now, we're taking a look at PFF's ranking of NFL offensive line groups and seeing where they have the Jaguars, offering my opinion on the Jags. And we did get some news earlier today from the Jaguars about training camp. Practices will begin being open to the fans on July 23rd. You can go check my tweet out about it, or, I'm sure it's all over Twitter at this point. But several good amount of practices are going to be open to fans. There's going to be a scrimmage in the stadium. So that's a lot of fun. Go check that out. You can follow me at Jordan DeLugo to see that information. And you'll have to sign up over at the Jaguars training camp page on their website. But now that we got that out of the way, just wanted to make sure y'all knew that. Getting into this list of offensive lines, if you haven't been paying attention, I'm not like super high on the Jags offensive line, just from a talent perspective, but we'll get into it. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. PFF has been putting together lots of different ranking lists and everything. We've been going through that. It's the dead period right now. So we're talking about, prognosticating, projecting for 2025, all that stuff at this point. And this offensive line rankings, you probably do like to see the Texans coming in at 32, which is no surprise. If you've been watching me, I've been talking about how confusing the Texans' plan was at offensive line after having one of the worst offensive lines in the league a year ago. They did make a ton of changes. I don't know if those were positive changes, to be quite honest. You have the Bengals at 31, which is a little bit surprising to me. Seahawks at 30, Patriots at 29, Giants at 28, Browns at 27, and the Jaguars come in here at 26 overall. And this isn't like just interior offensive line or the tackles. This is the entire group. This is what PFF has to say. The best possible outcome for the Jaguars offensive line in 2025 is probably going to be average. None of their 5 projected starters finished among the 30 highest graded players at their positions in 2024. Former first-round pick Anton Harrison made some slight improvements in 2024, leading to a 64.2 overall PFF grade, which ranked 50th among offensive tackles. But the Jaguars will need more from their right tackle in 2025. Yeah. So it's tough to nitpick this really a whole lot in my mind. I do believe from a talent perspective, the Jaguars tackles are probably somewhere in the 10 to 15 range in the NFL, probably closer to 15. And that's just from a talent perspective, not what they've proven, not where they're at in terms of their development, all that stuff. I just think when you look at Anton Harrison, a former first-round pick who has all the talent in the world to be a top 10 pass-protecting tackle in the league, whether it be left or right tackle, and then Walker Little, who's also, a very skilled, physically gifted player. I think that you have a couple guys there that can really get the job done. Now, the issue with Anton Harrison right now is he's not even technically a starter. I mean, you look at the competition they have going on the right side at right tackle with Chuma Edoga. I think it's a little bit farcical, but I don't want to blast the Jaguars coaching staff without knowing exactly what their plan is. But they want Anton Harrison to bring it more consistently. And if he can do that, I think that he can be a really good tackle in this league. So I think that there's upside for the Jaguars to have an above average offensive tackle group, just from a talent perspective alone. Now, on the interior, I do think that probably the best outcome is average in terms of the talent level, with Patrick McCary coming into play right guard and Robert Hainsey coming into play center. At left guard, you're either going to have Ezra Cleveland or Wyatt Milam, the rookie out of West Virginia, it looks like. So, again, I don't think that's a bad group. I don't think it's a very good group either. And Wyatt Milam has the opportunity to potentially change that narrative. As a young player coming in, had played tackle, was basically, unblemished in pass protection at tackle from a sack standpoint over the last 3 years, which is just unbelievable. But comes in, he's going to have to play guard. He's a strong player. He's a smart player. Compete with Ezra Cleveland to get in that lineup. Robert Hainsey, explosive linearly, has experience with Liam Cohen, but the upside to me really isn't there. And then Patrick McCary, he's been kind of that ultra versatile guy who's played every spot on the offensive line for the Ravens. Now he's going to be entering the season for the first time as like a full-time starter in his career. It looks like at right guard. I don't think that that's a great group. And I've been on record. I think the Jaguars probably should have done a little more, not necessarily like numbers wise, like they added a lot of offensive linemen this year, right? They added Edoga, Fred Johnson, Patrick McCary, Robert Hainsey, Wyatt Milam, Jonah Monheim. They added a ton of guys. I think they could have maybe taken a higher end swing. Maybe that's still a plan for the future. I'm not exactly sure, but I do think that the upside is potentially limited on the interior. What I will say, however, all of this talk has just been based on like talent, where they're at right now. I think in Liam Cohen's offense, with better coaching than you've seen in Jacksonville in a while on the offensive side of the ball and on the offensive line, and just better play calling, better scheming, everything being more coherent, I think it's possible that they outplay their talent level. I think what is an average group based on talent could outperform that because of everything around them, because of the fact that they are all very gritty. And I think that's what one thing they're looking more from Anton Harrison. But you look at that interior group, they are physical, they are play through the whistle type of guys. Even though they might not be the most talented, they are the type of guys that have the attitude you're looking for on the offensive line. I think Walker Little was really good pushing people off the ball last year too. I think that they have hand-selected these guys with the athleticism in mind, with the grittiness in mind, to be able to not only execute on outside zone, execute as pullers, but also execute as just, hey, we're running it right at you and we need to move you off the ball a little bit and we're going to be able to do that. So it's a versatile group. McCary's played everywhere. Wyatt Milam's played tackle, guard. Edoga's played tackle, guard. Fred Johnson's played tackle, guard. Jonah Monheim, who they selected at center in the 7th round, I mean, he played tackle most of his collegiate career, but I don't think he's going to be doing that in the NFL. I think for them to be anything more than average, it will be based on a couple factors. If Anton Harrison takes a step, and if Walker Little plays the way he did at the end of last year, and Anton Harrison takes a step, you could be talking about a very good tackle group. And then I think, Wyatt Milam represents the most upside on the interior. So those are your paths to having a more than average group, just talent-wise. In terms of production and the way they're playing out there, I think Liam Cohen and this coaching staff elevating the guys that they have is possible. And just via the coaching and the offensive play design and play calling, being able to best utilize the skill sets you do have on the offensive line, and then getting the ball into the playmakers' hands. You have Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter and Travis Etienne and De'Ami Brown and Britton Strange and Tank Bigsby and Bashal Tootin and LeQuint Allen. You have all these guys for a reason. Get the ball in their hands quickly and let them do work and play tough. I think if they're able to do that, the offensive line could come out graded as an extremely positive group. But that's on the coaching. It's on the players too. They've got to execute. But I think that the coaching can elevate potentially what to me is on paper a pretty average group. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.